This ain't your ordinary football show. It's the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder. Brought to you by Priority Automotive.
After finishing last season with 5 straight wins, the Monarchs were welcomed by yet another record crowd inside SB Ballard Stadium Saturday night. The fans were rewarded by an offense that scored quickly and often and a stingy defense that kept Campbell on their heels the entire game. A 27-point win over Campbell set the stage for tomorrow's showdown in Atlanta's Georgia Dome against Georgia State. Where do the Monarchs go from here? Let's find out. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with Coach Bobby Wilder. Let's see, you spent the last couple of months in an excruciating heat wave followed by an earthquake and then a hurricane. How happy were you to finally greet your fans on another beautiful Saturday night in Norfolk?
And let's not forget the smoke from the Great Dismal Swamp. Oh, it was great, Bruce. It was so good to be back there. And we have a veteran team. A lot of those players have been through it, but we also had a number of new players that were running through that tunnel for their first time. So it was such an exciting experience, and the 12th Monarch were great.
All right, even though this program is only 3 years old, it has finally come of age, but we saw 19 players for the first time on Saturday, and 8 of them were true freshmen. Now, are you happy with the mix?
Yeah, very much so, Bruce. We're at the point now where we're actually a veteran football team. 17 of our 22 starters are either in their 3rd or 4th year in our program, so we have some veteran players on the team like Ronnie Cameron and Thomas DeMarco, but now to have 19 first-year players, and 11 of them, Bruce, were redshirt freshmen, so they had been with the team. This was just their first chance to play, and the 8 freshmen. I feel like we have really good balance now as a football team. Now,
the players, at least the upperclassmen, don't seem to be as awed on game day as they had in the past couple of seasons. Do you see that?
I do, and even though it's we've been through it now a few times, we played. This was our 15th home game. You know, we're now 11-4 at home, and our 3rd season. They are so appreciative, Bruce, of the support we receive from 3:40 when we leave the Powhatan Sports Complex and go on the Monarch March. That 20 minutes through campus, right up to coming out the tunnel and the atmosphere during the game. Our players are so appreciative of the fact that we have such a tremendous atmosphere. They love playing at SB Ballard Stadium.
3 players that stood out, and I want to start on defense with your senior defensive tackle from New York, number 96, Ronnie Cameron. You just can't block that guy.
No, he was clearly, Bruce, he was the best player on the field Saturday night. He completely disrupted what Campbell was trying to do. I talked to their head coach after the game, and he said they couldn't block him. They had to make adjustments in how they called the game. He had 9 tackles, Bruce, 2 tackles for loss, a half a sack, and we counted 4 times that he hit the quarterback just as he was throwing the ball. Another half dozen times he chased him out of the pocket, so he was exceptional Saturday night.
Coach, not to sound like a broken record, but the guy that performs every single time he goes out onto the field, your senior quarterback from California, number 17, Thomas DeMarco, the face of the program, what, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, and when it counted the most, Bruce, because remember, Campbell jumped up in this game. They were up 7-0 early, but in that first half, he was 21 for 25, which is 84% completion percentage, 224 yards and 2 touchdowns, and directed us on 4 scoring drives. He played, in my opinion and our coach's opinion, his best game so far, Bruce, and the biggest difference was he wasn't forcing the ball downfield. Campbell made it clear they weren't going to get beat by our speed outside, so they played a softer coverage, and we're telling Thomas, you need to throw the ball underneath, and he did. Our running back, Angus Harper, was our leading receiver with 7 catches, and those were all checkdowns, Bruce.
And another receiver, we saved the best for last. Number 5, Antonio Vaughn, faster than a speeding bullet, able to leap tall defenders in a single bound, the CAA Rookie of the Week, another first for the Old Dominion program.
Yeah, you mentioned CAA Rookie of the Week. This was our first week we've ever been eligible for an award, and we weren't recognized, Bruce, in any of the preseason awards. We had no preseason all-conference players, so to have the Rookie of the Week was really exciting.
All right, Coach, this kid did such a fabulous job on Saturday. Chris Reckling joins us to answer the question, who is Antonio Vaughn? Chris?
Talk about an impressive college football debut. ODU's Antonio Vaughn stole the spotlight Saturday night, and he wasted little time making an impact. This was the result for the Monarchs' first play from scrimmage. Not exactly the debut Vaughn dreamed of.
I just went out, played hard, And like where I read the defense, like the times I scored, I knew I would get a lot of yards, but not knowing I was going to score. But like I knew some of the stuff could open up.
The redshirt freshman was just getting warmed up. He finished with 191 all-purpose yards and 2 long touchdowns. For his effort, the Ahoskie, North Carolina native was named the CAA Rookie of the Week.
Growing up, I always had a passion for football, and being the CAA Rookie of the Week, it means a lot to me because like I work hard, and my mom and coaches always told me hard work will pay off.
Vaughn is a coaching success story. He came to the ODU football camp 2 years ago as a quarterback, but the coaches saw him as a receiver and quickly evaluated him during the camp.
Kiata Malloy, our wide receiver coach, worked with him in camp, and Brian Scott, our offensive coordinator, they both watched him and evaluated him and came up to me and said, this kid's going to be a spectacular wide receiver. We need to recruit him as a wide receiver. And the reason he was a high school quarterback is his coach needed him to play quarterback. It was his best player.
In Norfolk, Chris Reckling reporting for the Old Dominion Football Show.
Thank you, Chris. Still to come, it's the return of a 1-minute drill. This week's victim tackle, Ryan Jensen. Plus, part of the Old Dominion football experience takes place before the game. We'll check in with the tailgaters of the week, and Coach Wilder answers your questions. The Coach's Corner, as well as the priorities of the game, all coming up as the Old Dominion football show continues.
Left tackle Ryan Jensen, our first victim of the 1-minute drill this season. Ryan, I know you're from the West Coast, so which coast do you like better, East or West?
Oh, I love the East Coast, you know, ODU football, Virginia, it's all awesome.
So are you nervous that you're the first victim of the 1-minute drill?
No.
Not nervous at all?
No.
I hear you're a little bit sarcastic. Do you got any good jokes for us?
No.
So social media is really big. Would you rather update your Facebook status, or what would you be tweeting about right now?
Well, I'd probably put it on Facebook, but I'm talking on, you know, I'm doing an interview. It's pretty cool.
And if you were going to tweet something right now, what would it be?
These lights are burning my face in the middle of this interview, but I just kind of want to, you know, take the mic away from you and do a wrestling promo right now, but I'm not going to.
What? I could take you, maybe.
Absolutely. See, that's why I'm afraid. That's the thing. So, but not right now.
Well, I think you passed the test with the 1-minute drill.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan Jensen, the first 1-minute drill of the season.
Go Monarchs.
All right, while you are getting your troops ready for the game, Coach, a record-breaking crowd put their game faces on in the parking lot at SB Ballard Stadium, enjoying the pregame festivities. So let's check in with the tailgaters of the week.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Clark here at ODU, the first game, here in the purple lot, and I'm going to show you how we tailgate. Over this way we have the infamous Coleman grill that everybody out here seems to have. Sliders, peppers and onions, cooking on the grill. And around here, we've got some that the guys obviously have already eaten. We got cookies.
Don't forget the hand sanitizer.
Of course, especially after you go to the House of Blue Water. Got to use a hand sanitizer. We got music. Potato salad, salsa, chips, all of our friends from Norfolk, and as you can see, everybody's playing cornhole. We're all from the hometown of ODU, Norfolk, Virginia. My name's Barry Clark, and that's how we tailgate here at ODU.
Barry, I want one of those sliders. I'll see you soon. Still to come, Coach Wilder goes over the priorities of tomorrow's game against Georgia State, and it's your chance to have his ear. It's the Coach's Corner, next on the Old Dominion Football Show. It's time to turn the microphone over to the fans. It's the Coach's Corner.
Coach Wilder, I'm Dan from Chesapeake, and I want to know, have you done anything to prevent the personal fouls from last year?
Great question, Dan. We have one thing we're really focusing on this year with our football team is to play smarter, and being a veteran football team, that's certainly something that has changed. I'm very confident, particularly after this first game when we didn't get involved with any of those situations. We're a much better, much smarter football team. Thanks for the question, Dan.
All right, second question.
All right, so Coach Wilder, this is Joe Majori from Virginia Beach. JMU, Richmond, and William & Mary are playing ACC teams. When are we going to be playing those guys?
Well, we're still growing right now as a program, only being in our third year. That's certainly something we'll consider for the future, but our number one priority right now is to establish ourselves as a good football team in the CAA. Thanks for the question.
All right, Coach, here's another one.
Hey, Coach Wilder, my name is Daniel Rosen. So how did you stay safe during the hurricane?
Daniel, that's a great question. We ended up canceling our last 2 days of preseason practice, that Friday when we knew the storm was coming, and then Saturday, and we evacuated. We ended up taking a bus, making sure all 95 of our players were safe, our coaching staff, all of our support staff, and we made out just fine. Thanks for the question. I hope you made it out fine as well.
All right, Coach, tomorrow afternoon, Old Dominion plays its 24th game, this time in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta against the Georgia State Panthers. Let's look at the priorities of the game first. You have to protect the ball and win the turnover battle, something you didn't do too well last week against Campbell.
Yeah, we ended up losing that battle, Bruce, 3-2, and if you're in a tight ball game, that makes a difference. Statistics have shown the team that wins the turnover battle is going to win the football game 75% of the time, so definitely something we focused on in practice, Bruce, this week, and I know we'll be better down in the Georgia Dome.
All right, let's look at priority number 2.
Number 2 is control the line of scrimmage. Last year, the reason we had success against this football team, Bruce, is we were able to run the ball. We had 230 yards rushing and stop the run. We held them to 58 yards rushing, so that's going to be very important for us. We've got to control the line of scrimmage and control the running game.
All right, and one more.
And the third priority, Bruce, is we've got to win the field position battle. Last year in this football game against Georgia State, their average drive start was their own 26-yard line. Our average drive start was our own 40-yard line. That's 14 yards of hidden yardage in the game, and it just goes to show you, if you got a shorter field, you're going to score more points. Give them a longer field, they're going to have a harder time.
Coach, coming up, a big trip to a big city. I know it's a business trip, but the kids have to be excited about playing in the Georgia Dome.
Oh, very excited. And for their first game, Bruce, they had 26,000 fans. The most fans we've ever played in front of on the road is 5,000. So this is going to be an exciting trip for everyone and a lifetime experience for a lot of these kids.
All right, you can see the game on Cox Channel 11. Hear it on 94.1 with Ted Alexander. Noon tomorrow, Old Dominion against Georgia State. Coach, good to see you. We'll see you next Friday night at 10:45 for the Old Dominion Coaches Show.
Thank you, 12th Monarchs.